Why is beating physical defenders hard for some players but easy for others? We're gonna talk about that in this video. Maybe you got a defender that straddles your legs so you can't really move one direction. That's one problem we're gonna talk about in this video. Another kind of defender is one that likes to put an arm bar into you like this. I've got an awesome solution for that kind of defender. Sometimes you'll get defenders that as you're going past, they'll grab your shirt and they're really crafty at doing that. And then you'll get some defenders that as you're trying to go past them, they'll put their arm into you like this and they'll kind of hook you. Well, there's ways to take advantage of all these things and we're gonna break them all down in this video. And then at the end, I'm gonna have something awesome for you that's gonna help you take advantage of this so you can make sure once you've got past your defender, there's no way they're gonna get back in front of you. So the first thing we gotta talk about is if a defender's playing physical on me in any way, like they're just creating contact, you cannot be afraid of that contact. Now I know we're taught that basketball is a non-contact sport, but there is. In the post, there's always contact, and sometimes in the perimeter, there's certain contact that the refs will allow. What refs don't want to see is that they're actually like pushing into you and pushing you around, then that's going to be a foul. And same thing on offense. I can't like just barrel into her and push her back. You want to think about it being more like gradual and that it's not abrupt and into them. You want to think about angles. If you can start to get into that mindset of being more okay with contact, it's going to help you a lot. That mental hurdle is big. If she's playing really tight on me, I'm not going to think, okay, I'm going to come way over here. That'll buy me some time, sure, but it's also making it harder for me to beat her because if I'm here and I come over here, then she's just in the same position. She's going to get right back to me. So I gotta ask myself how I can take that contact and get an advantage from it. And these gradual angles typically are gonna be the best way. When my defender is close to me, it's actually easier for me now to beat them because she's close. If she's really far away, if I start moving back, she could just jump right back in front of me. I'm still not really getting anywhere. So in a way, if you know how to handle it when they're really close to you, that actually gives you an advantage. The first thing you wanna think about is your off arm. So she's playing me with an arm bar. There's a couple things I can do. I can brush it down like this. Okay, now some people might think, oh, that's being physical, that's cheating, that's an offensive foul. It's not. If they are initiating the contact, you have the right to free yourself some space up. Now again, I can't just push into her like this. I can't be over the top with it either. I don't want to be like this. You want to think about, for all of these, keep that arm at about a 90 degree with the elbow. So that way, if I do this, it's not as noticeable. And I as an offensive player, get the right to swing my arm into my running motion as I'm going forward here. And what you'll notice is while I do that, what's that doing? That's disengaging that arm and it's putting her, so I'm kind of giving her a little push back here. Another thing I can do is as this arm is here, I can come with this other arm here and start to go into my spin move, and what's that doing? Starting to turn her back. Now again, you don't want to be over the top and like uppercut it. I want to be more like this and then just boom, I can roll right off of her and now I've got a huge advantage. One other thing you can do for this is you could cross like that. So you want to think about pushing with this arm a little bit first to get them kind of turning this way or moving this way. After that, going into the crossover. But if you notice, I'm not making the movement. I'm not doing it with this hand here. That's obvious. I'm not even doing it with the elbow here. That's obvious. I want to lean into that more with my shoulder right by the microphone here, and I want to push more with that shoulder. I can't be exaggerated with it. I can't be like that's obvious. But if I'm more subtle with it, like she's leaning into me, she's initiating the contact, and then I go boom, and this looks like I'm trying to go that way, and it's a little more natural looking. It looks like I'm using her momentum against her. Same thing as I'm going past it, she grabs my shirt, boom, just bring that arm back. Just don't extend the arm because then it looks really obvious. Not only am I starting to get past her and disengaging this arm, but that pushes her that way, or at least turns her that way where she's out of position to beat me. And with that, I would want to think about taking this angle tight here. I don't want to come way out here. I'll have another video at the end that'll really help you with this side of things as far as your attack to beat the defender. And the same tip would apply as if she's trying to hook me as I'm trying to go past. I can, boom, disengage that way. Or sometimes what you'll see offensive players do, like James Harden and a lot of the craftier guys, is if she's here, they'll just kind of pin it here to really show the ref, like, look what she's doing, and then they kind of have to come with you, and it makes it extra obvious that they're being physical, so now next time you're taking that away from them. And one other option you have is if they grab the shirt, or they're just hooking you with the arm completely around your waist, you can do one other thing, which is to come under, and same thing, you could do that, okay? You'll see guys do that all the time on offense. One other thing you can do when defenders are trying to hook you with this arm, you can use this off arm. You'll see a lot of guys do this and get away with it. They'll put their hand on their hip and then just kind of boom, push them out of the way and go into a crossover. Now, that right there, you don't want to do. That's like super illegal. So what you want to do, again, is be more subtle about these things. If they're initiating contact, you have the right to also initiate contact. So if she's kind of a little more tight to me like that and not like just hanging on here. Like if she's there, like I probably don't want to do this. But if I'm more in tight, closer to her shoulder, then there, boom, I'd be able to get this little off arm engaged into her hip and then go into that crossover. But I don't want to do that big follow through. The way I'd want to do it is just a little more tight here. See how I keep my elbow kind of pinned here? I keep it in that 90-degree angle. So as she's hooking me, if she's real tight here, what I can do is kind of use more of my shoulder down here, getting nice and low. That way, now again, it's not gonna be as exaggerated, not as obvious. She's gonna start to move back this way, and it'll be a little more natural, right? I don't have to use a big follow through this because I'm using more of my shoulder a little bit. I'm doing it at a gradual angle. So I don't wanna just come barreling right into her directly. I want to think about more of an angle here, trying to come past here. So now it looks more like I'm trying to beat her. Boom, go into that cross. Okay, now let's talk, what if they got this angle here? Like it makes it really hard for me to, like I can't really use my off arm. Even like if she's got her arms down, I can't really do anything there. I can't just push into her, right? She's giving herself an advantage with her feet to create the contact. So she's like right there, like what am I really gonna do to beat her? Well, now you have to think not so much about the off arm. You gotta start thinking about more using your legs the way you would use the off arm. So there's a couple tactics I can do for that. If she's here, all I wanna do is try to get that position. Now, you can't do that slow. If I take this step back, what is she gonna do? Okay, now I'm in the same position, right? So I wanna think about just curling it right around here. And it's almost like using your off arm, and that's one thing you could do. Again, you gotta be subtle about it, is use that arm as well as you're getting past to kind of pin them. Again, you don't wanna do this, that's gonna get called for a fall. Do this, you're probably good to go. Another option I have from here is I can just simply push to get this hand and this foot to come around here, and now it looks a little more apparent. If she tries to slide back and bumps kind of sideways to try to cut me back off, it's gonna look more apparent like she's just pushing into me to the ref, and then she's probably gonna get the fall call on her. One other thing I could do is take a brief step back to give myself space, and then what's she gonna do? She's gonna try to close the gap, boom. And then that'll free up an angle for me to get this way. So you wanna think about just a quick step back and then forward to cut that angle off, or a brief like side step to try to create that angle. But you don't wanna like just be moving like way over here, because if I'm coming way over here, she's just gonna keep sliding in front of me again. So I wanna try to make this quick, so then as she's moving in towards me, she's bumping into me. Now she's probably gonna get the foul call on her. Or I'm gonna step back, she comes in, boom, I'm gonna take advantage of that momentum. Now the next thing you'll need to know is there's really two things that you need to make all this stuff work. You need to have good handles, and you need to know the right way to attack your defender. This video will give you a dribbling routine you need to get the handles to deal with these pressure physical defenders, and this video shows you the perfect way to attack them. Subscribe and turn on all notifications to catch the newest videos, and I'll see you in one of these videos next.